I've got you. Watch, watch. Okay, I
Uh,
see how it is. Good morning. I'm Malcolm Nance. Sorry, we're a little late today because suddenly my opinion is in demand by international news media organizations. And in fact, we have to do today's show in 45 or 50 minutes because I have to go on Al Jazeera. I was on CNN and I was on BBC yesterday. It's getting a little crazy out there, but people want to know what we know. So, with that, first, good morning. I'm going to introduce Wajeeh, the gay lion, our Saudi Arabian geopolitical analyst, and headgear expert. He has really got, he's got his burnous. That's the best way to say it. Turban Tuesday, somebody says. Okay, explain your
Chairman
headpiece.
Tuesday.
Explain your
Um,
headpiece.
so this would be worn by the upper class of the west coast of Saudi Arabia, especially Mecca and Medina. The scarf itself was handmade in Syria before the war, and so like they don't make these anymore the same way. They're all machined now. And the hat is basically the same way. We call it Gabbana from the name of the thing, but it's a turban.
It's clearly a turban. Look at you. I'll bet you that you're 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 uh you're even a Sayyid, right? Are you a
Yes,
Sayyid?
that's right.
Oh, that means he descends directly down the bloodline from the Prophet Muhammad.
That's right. That's right.
Mm.
And my father's grandpa was the founder of the Holy Library in the second holiest mosque.
Wallah, this is crazy. Okay, we got to get going. I don't have a gabana, all right, but I do have my International Spy Museum hard hat. I was on the board of advisors of the Spy Museum for 10 years, and we opened the new Spy 2 Museum, which is the huge one in Washington, D.C., and we all got these cool hats. So, that being said, let's move on because I know a lot of people were waiting. We started 5 minutes late. And I want to talk first about the casualty count. Do you have the casualty count handy?
I can get it
Because
handy.
I don't believe that there has been any change in the casualty count anywhere except on the side of Iranian citizens. And I don't know if Al Jazeera's live tracker has updated that. There have been no deaths in Israel, the United States. We haven't seen any update in Iran. So, that being said, day
Uh,
32 of this war is now
yeah,
officially
they do
open.
have an updated one. Let me pull it out
Okay,
for you.
let's take a look at the Al Jazeera live tracker since I'm going to be talking on there within the hour to give an update on this. And you know what's really funny is, despite the fact that I was on MSNBC for 7 years, a lot of people don't know who I am. And you know why? News media channels each other. Once you're on a channel, they never look at you again. And now that I'm open available, they're looking at me. Okay, what's the update? What does it say for Iran?
Iran is 1935 killed
They went down to.
and
Okay.
24,800 injured.
Hmm. All right.
For Iraq, you got 100 killed.
It's risen in Iraq. Okay.
Yeah. For Lebanon, you have 1,238 killed and 3,500 injured.
Mhm.
The death toll in Palestine is still the same at 20 Israelis killed and 6,000 injured.
Mhm.
29 Jordanians injured, and you got 7 people killed in Kuwait, mostly from
Workers.
foreign workers working at the gas field. And then you got 11 killed in the UAE, 178 injured, 17 injured in Qatar. I think they're not reporting the killed in Qatar on purpose. 2 killed in Saudi Arabia and 20 injured. And then Oman, you got 3 killed and 15 injured.
Okay. All right. Let's move on next to the price of oil because this
Oh,
is an
U.S.
actual.
military,
I'm sorry.
U.S. military, 13 killed and 200 injured. Someone was
That's
asking.
correct. That's correct. And it's actually 14 who have died. One person died, possibly of a heart attack or something, in terms of that casualty count. Let's go to oil because this is actually a real, legitimate oil war. This is the first one that has been openly, expressly done by Donald Trump wanting to take Iran's oil the way he did it in Venezuela. So this is an oil war. And so for that, we need to keep track of the commodity that they're fighting over, and that is West Texas Intermediary crude, which is the cheapest of the oils that is done on contract on the market, has taken a good rise. And that is now $103.02. You can no longer say that they've been keeping it low and that Donald Trump is keeping things, managing this. His comments no longer affect the price of oil except to drive it up. There's
Yeah.
nothing he could say other than we won, we're leaving, we're withdrawing all U.S. combat forces from the region. That's the only thing that could lower the price of this oil. Brent North Sea crude, with the highest we saw before was 112. It's now at 117.2 per barrel. Mabran crude, which is in the region but is still contract 120. We are still seeing spot crude physical oil, not on a contract that you're going to get 2 weeks or a month from now. Physical oil is still in the 160s to 170s. So if you were to go down there and pull over next to one of those tankers that are siphoning oil off the top, it's going to cost you real money down there. Okay, that being said, the next thing we want to talk about are significant activities. Today is a significant activity day for two reasons. One, there were some combat actions we should pay attention to. And two, the things Donald Trump said. This is the Kuwait oil tanker company. That is the Al Salami. This is a VLCC, a very large crude carrier. You can see that ship is loaded down. When it's really loaded down, when it's full, you will not see any red in that picture. You will only see black because the ship is full of oil. So the VLCC Al Salmi was struck off of Dubai last night by a cruise missile, apparently. And what I will do is I will bring that image up for you. The Iranians are making it very clear they don't particularly care what we think we are saying on television, right?
Yeah.
The LCC, Dubai.
Why would they care what we
Why
have
would
to
they
say?
care? Yeah. So here are some pictures. We have some pictures. Hold on, if you give me a moment, of the tanker VLCC Dubai. Everybody's showing the airport for some strange reason. There it is. That was the previous photo we showed you of the Al Salmi before it needed a paint job. You can see she is loaded down. She is as close to the watermark as she can get. This ship has some hundreds of thousands of barrels of oil on it. Right here, it was struck by a cruise missile or a drone. It started a major fire. The fire was brought under control, and then the crew was evacuated from the ship. There has been no oil spill, environmental damage after the strike of that ship. But it goes to the point where Donald Trump just yesterday was saying that Iran had better open the Strait of Hormuz immediately or bad things were going to happen. And Iran's response was, bad things can happen, bro.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. So that is the Kuwait VLCC. And Iran knows where these ships are by striking a Kuwaiti tanker. That tanker has been sitting, by the way, right where it is off Dubai for a month. A month. So the Iranians specifically targeted that ship because it was Kuwaiti. It's been there forever, and it was full of Kuwaiti oil. Now it will have to be cross-shipped, taken off that ship, put onto another VLCC, and then maybe someday leave the Persian Gulf and do its work. The United States I will go to the bookmarks. The United States carried out a significant military attack yesterday in central Iran. This is in the vicinity of Isfahan. This is not a nuclear power plant or a nuclear weapons research facility. This is not even a ballistic missile city. This is the Isfahan weapons storage depot, which may have had drones, ballistic missiles in it. The United States got a good lick into it. We're getting messages asking, by the way, how much a multipass costs. So multipass costs $2 million at this point.
Yes,
But
they're
here's the
passing a
attack
law
we
at the
did
moment.
yesterday yeah. So we used some of our massive ordnance penetrators to break into these bunkers and blew up their missile storage there, which, as you know, Iran doesn't care about because they have a lot of missiles everywhere. And it's not about this, it's about the Strait of Hormuz.
Hmm.
And so long as the Strait of Hormuz is closed, Iran is winning this war. That's on the table, right? Iran's winning this war. Okay, so Pete Hegseth was very proud this morning during his morning briefing. For the first time, he had a briefing in almost 2 weeks to come out and say that Team America is kicking ass and taking names. And they are. They are kicking ass and taking names. This is a before and after image of the VLCC, not VLC, of the missile storage facility. Knowing it's underground, this is not just missiles, it's weapons and ammunition of the Iranian armed forces. So there's lots of things in there. Those strike holes, those holes with the red circles on it, are where our bombs hit. And we're very good at this, right? We are excellent at blowing up these facilities, right? And we're great at that. We aren't great at a guy in a speedboat with one mine in the middle of the night, drops it out there, and now closes the Strait of Hormuz for a month, because that's all it takes. So, as we say, Hegseth and Trump are focused on what we call bombs, guns, and fighter jet rides. And they love this part of the story of blowing holes into facilities before, after. Before, after, United States government blasting holes. Those are air shafts, air vents into that facility. And we blowed it up because we are good at blowing things up. And they make pretty explosions, but they do not represent what this war is actually about. Okay, Israel struck the Tabriz petrochemical refinery in the city of Tabriz yesterday. And as we've mentioned before, there are very clearly two separate wars going on here, right? There's the United States' war against Iran's military capability, and then there's Israel's war, which appears to be to make the Iranian people miserable. And one of the analyses that I read in Haaretz, which is the Israeli newspaper, was that the strategy was actually designed to create a failed state so that the country would descend into civil war and cause people to kill each other, right? So that Israel wouldn't have to deal with it.
What
That's a very cynical way of doing it.
what happened to the moral compass that the free world had? We, like, as someone from Saudi Arabia, we used to point to the United States every time we wanted to give an example of freedom, or give an example of human rights, give example of justice, give example of, even, doesn't matter if you're in power or not, you will be taken to court and you will have your time there. And in the same time, we see all of the moral compass that the United States has and claim to have for the last 50 years. I mean, I sat down with U.S. diplomats convincing me back when I was in Saudi Arabia, tell me how great America is, and that, like, they have everything that we don't have in the Middle East. Nevertheless,
Mhm.
I'm watching everything happen, and they don't have any better compass than Iran.
Well, because right now, the United States is being led by a fascist dictatorship. And we are running the government. The Congress is almost like a Russian Duma. We are being led by an oligarchy. All of those values you're talking about exist. They just don't exist in MAGA. They don't exist in Trump world. Trump wants to be the first American dictator. I don't know if you saw the pictures that they put up of his projected presidential library. It has a giant auditorium that's supposed to hold tens of thousands of people. And behind the stage, I'm not joking, is a 100-foot statue of Trump holding his fist up like he's Kim Jong-un or Mao Zedong. It's absolutely ludicrous. But let's not descend into that. We'll be pulling our hair out forever if that's the case. So they hit the Tabriz petrochemical refinery in an effort to punish the Iranian people. That's the Israelis. The facility that the United States hit yesterday was the Shahid Karazi ammunition depot. That's what we saw burning a little while ago. Many secondary pretty explosions of their ammunition facilities. What is it? And other news. This is interesting. The United States, without notifying Italy, sent bombers into its country at Aviano Air Base and were only announcing that they were about to enter Italian airspace as they were getting ready to transition coming over the Mediterranean and land there. Italy did not give them permission. Yesterday, Italy joined Spain and told the United States, no, you cannot land your aircraft in this country to refuel and go on to bomb Iran. So now Italy is going to get the full Trump treatment. When we go down into the section called Crazy Shit Trump Says, you will hear more about that. The United States now claims that they have struck 11,000 targets, which is interesting because yesterday they were claiming they struck 15,000 targets and only had 3,000 to go. So I guess they found new targets and have decreased the number of strikes that they're claiming. On Iran's side, they continue their economic war by the attack on the Kuwaiti oil tanker Al Salmi. They are sending a message that we like the price of oil being very high. We like that you are losing billions upon billions of dollars. And in fact, there was a study done yesterday. Since the beginning of this war, last February 28th, 32 days ago, the U.S. tech industry alone has lost. Are you ready for it? Give me a drum roll. You gotta give me a drum roll, brother. Okay, I hear it. Thank you. They have lost $5 trillion of their value. Donald Trump, by attacking Iran, stole $5 trillion of profit, right? Of potential profit away from just the top 10 tech industries, right? Everyone is losing money hand over fist on this. And whoever is making money are the people who are advocating that we continue. I, for one, am not crying. I mean, I think a lot of this is self-induced. Tel Aviv was struck by Iran yesterday with a cluster munition, a ballistic missile with a cluster warhead on it. Now, that pretty much leads out all of our combat. Israel is still continuing fighting in southern Lebanon. The Lebanese managed to kill 4 Israeli soldiers, which means that they probably got them in a Merkava tank. And I hope it's not my buddy who is a Merkava driver. But the United States is still supporting Israel's campaign to push forces to the Litani River. That is the combat update of today. Wajeeh, anything you would like to say? Because we got crazy shit to talk about.
I got updates as well.
Voila.
With Marco Rubio visited Saudi Arabia yesterday or the day before and expressed that Trump was disappointed that Saudi Arabia signed a defense treaty with the Ukraine. And basically
disappointed.
Yeah. He said he was disappointed. So
these guys stop. Don't ever tell me these guys don't work for Moscow. Don't ever tell me that. I've written 4 books, 4 New York Times bestsellers about Trump's relationship with Moscow, Russian intelligence, and Putin. And you've got Marco Rubio, huge advocate for Ukraine, going there and saying, why are you selling books? Oh, by the way, somebody said the airplanes were going to Sigonella, not not in Sicily, not to Aviano, where I lived. I worked on Sigonella for a while. But back to this. So Marco Rubio, make it make sense, Wajeeh. Make it make sense. Oh,
Well,
Magnoon.
well, this comes after one day of Trump saying, "I made Mohammed bin Salman kiss my ass." Like
Bullshit.
he went on national television and he literally degraded the crown prince and degraded the kingdom. And like the crown prince showed his diplomacy. He didn't say like have Trump kiss my ass. What he said is, "Well, you didn't protect me. I have to find someone else to protect me."
I have a feeling, despite all the money that's flying around, I have a feeling that the Gulf states may decide to protect themselves in the future, which means spending money wherever. I mean, he's mad that Ukraine signed a defense pact with them. And I know what the defense pact is: selling like 5,000 interceptors, keeping soldiers there. And the soldiers are going to open a factory and they're going to be doing a train the trainer of all the drone pilots, because you have to go through a 30-day drone pilot course for this interceptor in Ukraine, because Ukraine really needs those guys back. Hey, you can't have 200 guys leave in the middle of a war and go chillax in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. But I just find it absolutely fascinating that Trump's interest, Trump's only worry is not that Saudi Arabia isn't dependent on America. Saudi Arabia buys things from the Brits, from the French, from the Italians,
Hmm.
from everybody. That Ukraine is helping them, and Trump so hates Ukraine. Good God, he's. I'm going to say I can't even. I can't even say it. I won't even use the T word in this particular circumstance. But this guy, he loves some Putin ass. He just loves Putin's ass. And I don't know whether he uses it as a pillow, whether he has somebody made a silicone copy and he keeps it in the White House. But I have never seen such hot man love as ladies. I'm going to tell you guys this, all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Find a person, find a man, find a woman that loves you as much as Donald Trump loves Putin's ass. That's all there is to it. God almighty. God
um,
almighty. Okay. What else do you have to report? Don't go into the
uh,
crazy shit Trump said, because I got a whole slew of that.
I won't. But the fact of the matter is, the United States has hit more than 13,000 targets, and those, and we have spent close to a trillion. We're almost getting to 1,000 billion, which is $1 trillion, and that's out of your own taxpayer money. The United States is already struggling from all of the money they owe the world and the U.S. citizens. And if you don't stop this anytime soon, your dollar will be worthless because people already stopped using the dollar to buy and sell oil, so they can skip all the Trump taxes, and so they can skip all the sanctions that Trump has placed by just using other currencies.
Mm,
They don't need to use the US dollar anymore. They'll take a
very
yen.
true.
They'll take so
This was,
the
yeah, that was big talk 10 years ago, shifting from the dollar to the euro. Now it's the renminbi, right? The yuan. Oh, it's crazy. Okay, let's move on. It's half hour past. It's finally time to go on to this new segment, Crazy Trump Shit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard the news, have a seat. Take the coffee away from your mouth. By the way, Wajeeh, do you have a coffee cup?
yeah, my local handmade.
You're a handmade. You're going to have to up that game, baby, because I got my cup. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I got my whole set going here. I said, Wajeeh, I'm going to have Turkish coffee extraordinaire. And what's funny about
Oh,
this set is I have two other sets, but this set I got in Kyiv, Ukraine. Somebody gave it to me as a gift, and I found the guy who sold it to me. There's an underground mall in Kyiv, and the guy runs a Turkish coffee place because I needed to find Turkish coffee. And he goes, did you get a set as a gift? I was like, yes. He goes, they said it was for an American, and he would probably be looking for Turkish coffee. He has everything there: dates, dried rose petals, baklava, incredible Turkish stand there. Oh, and I'm sorry, people, Turkish delight is my weakness. I love Turkish delight without the nuts. Okay, the regular Turkish delight that's just jelly. Alhamdulillah, right? Okay,
They're delicious.
let's go to the crazy shit Trump said. Now that I have my coffee, I can endure it. This was reporting from the Wall Street Journal last night. Trump tells aides he is willing to end the war without reopening the Hormuz, without reopening Strait of Hormuz. The way that the journalist characterized it was people who knew what Trump was saying. By the way, I'm going to do it like they used to do on C-SPAN, where they point to the actual words and they're writing. Trump told aides that the pressures in keeping the Strait of Hormuz and fighting the war was so much that he was frustrated and that he was willing to essentially take an off-ramp and leave without opening the Strait of Hormuz and leaving it to the Iranians. That is a confession in itself. However, that is not what he is saying, obviously, to the public media. These are the concerns that are happening within the White House. Yesterday, I'm trying to find the one for Britain. We have a quote from Great Britain. Oh, that you'll like that one. I'm going to save that joke cartoon for last. It's there's all sorts of jokes out here today. Okay, I'll take it off of Twitter. Donald Trump decided this morning to attack not only Britain, but France in their lack of support for Trump. So let me read this for you in the proper Trumpian voice. All of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the U.S. We have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait, and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Like in World War II and Korea and Vietnam and Desert Storm and all those other places, invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan where you lost hundreds of soldiers. You weren't there for us. I digress. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil. Sign. Now, I find this interesting that he did not sign off. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Or his typical President, all caps, Donald J. Trump. This is like he's flipping them the bird and would not take it. So a lot of wags this morning were talking about, was Donald Trump ending the special transatlantic partnership between the United States and Britain that is held since 1940. Right? It's just one man to be a total a-hole to destroy all of the relationship. Now, this is interesting, and I want to go through it quick because Britain is about to do, not provincial, what do they call that? They are about to do elections in Britain that will determine the shape of parliament. And it could create, up to this point, the bets were on that it would create a parliament which resembled which resembled a former Tory parliament, and that the British Conservatives would win and would choose a Trumpian-like guy, Nigel Farage, as prime minister, quite possibly as early as this spring. And these
Wow.
elections will impact that. But let me tell you what's in the British news this morning. Trump flipping the bird at dead British service members who were killed in Afghanistan, saying, "You've never done anything for us." And I have a feeling, like the Canadian elections, Trump may have just destroyed the Tory party's opportunities to take power. And now no one's going to want a government. Nigel Farage has essentially said he will kiss Trump's ass. He will make Britain like Trump, like America, like MAGA, right? And make Great Britain great again. And that he would essentially become a Trump puppet, because he has been for the last few years. Yes, Wajeeh.
Well, Trump is apparently really good at destroying relationships. And he's the United Kingdom is the strongest U.S. ally in U.S. history, even though they had a even though the United States broke off from the UK. But the reality is military deals, the defense contracts, the behind diplomatic doors, and the Security Council, the United Nations, the amount of work that goes on behind the doors between the United States and the UK is a deep one that is basically destroyed. The same thing happened with Saudi Arabia just in 1 week. Saudi Arabia was looking for a partnership in the United States. They were not looking for a master. Saudi Arabia has assisted the United States throughout its history, fighting the USSR out of Africa and out of the Arabian Peninsula and out of Asia. They have funded U.S. war against terrorism, and they were involved in so many other things. And Trump comes out and basically says that Saudi Arabia needs to come out and pay for this war that Trump started.
Yeah, I
So
was getting to that. Yeah, Trump is demanding that the Gulf states pay. And in fact, one of the things that I read about this morning in Wall Street Journal was that Trump was talking about reparations to Iran might not be off the table, paying them back to end this war. Okay, well, we can't keep discussing this. We got to go on. Another tweet that Trump put out right after he isolated Britain was to attack France. The country of France wouldn't let planes headed to Israel loaded up with military supplies fly over French territory. France has been very unhelpful with respect to the butcher of Iran, who has been successfully eliminated. The USA will remember. Yeah, well, I have a feeling he is not going to be invited back to Bastille Day to stand on the Champs-Elysees and drink champagne, which, by the way, was what got Trump believing massively why Trump wanted that massive U.S. military parade, because he saw the French Bastille Day parade, which I go to every year. And he was just like, I want an awesome parade where everyone worships me. It's not about worshiping the prime minister, president of France. It's about worshiping those who have fallen in the French Revolution, which started with people having their heads cut off. Okay, I have one other thing I want to talk about. There have been some fun tweets because we need more levity in our lives, even though we have got all sorts of incredibly horrible things going on in this world. But I like this comment that was made by Terry Moran this morning, the independent journalist. He said about Trump's tweet of the United Kingdom: number one, start a war. Do not tell allies. Number two, blow stuff up. Number three, demand regime change. Number four, blow more stuff up. Number five, demand unconditional surrender. Number six, get angry when enemy fights back. Number seven, make threats. Number eight, back down. Repeat. Number nine, demand allies finish the war. And number 10, walk away. That's one of my favorite tweets. So, by the way, some character out there said, how would World War II have gone if everybody tweeted like Trump? And so somebody put up this tweet from Emperor Hirohito that said Pearl Harbor was tremendous. We have completed our very successful attack on Hawaii. All planes are now outside of American airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Pearl Harbor. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great Japanese warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Emperor Hirohito. So,
Oh.
actually, I don't think Hirohito would have put that out. I think that would have been Hideki Tojo, right? The leader of Japan. Don't ever come at me in World War II, bros. I studied my dad was 15 when he joined World War II, and he got me reading books about World War II when I was 10. Okay. He had me read everything. I know everything about World War II, and I know every landing because he followed them, bringing thousands of troops in his troop ship. So, yeah, that's sort of the way that this sort of joke of a government is running things. And although we laugh at it, we're having a good time. We are underestimating our opponents, and we are being taken advantage of our opponents. I do not support Iran. Everybody knows that. Iran tried to kill me several times. I have killed Iranians in combat, IRGC, and naval combat, and in helping airstrikes, land warfare. Not a fan, but the Iranians have the upper hand here. And this is my last joke of the day. We'll go to questions. This is the IRGC spokesman trolling us with a video saying, having his you know that coffee. That's not a Turkish coffee right there. That's going to be like a
Shut up.
Kashmiri coffee, or oh man, I want one right now. With cream, sweet condensed milk. That's good
Mm-hmm.
stuff right there. And he's going, Habibi, we just getting started. That when this thing ends, when Trump takes the off ramp, I cannot even imagine the Lego videos that are going to come out. I can't even imagine.
He
Okay. Yeah, what do
he
you say?
has Trump has the attention span of a 5-year-old, so I really don't see him like having the patience that the Iranians have to
Okay.
to stay in this war.
All right. We only have time for a couple of questions because I do have to go straight to Al Jazeera from here. You guys can watch me on Al Jazeera Live if you want questions. Dan Diamondberg, who is our representative in Israel. I may make him our foreign correspondent. Today, Israel lost 4 soldiers in Lebanon from an elite reconnaissance unit. I thought it was a tank. Israel is stepping into another decades-long occupation, and how long would it take to get us out of it? I have at least 3 books here on Israel's 10-year-long Lebanon war. You could be there for a while, and they will be killing you for a while. Someone asked, how much does it take to get a multi-pass? $2 million. Stonefly said, what are your thoughts on U.S. deaths being suppressed by Western media? I don't think they're being suppressed. I think that we actually have just lost 4. The question is, if other of that 300 some odd service members die of their wounds, will Trump attribute that to being killed in this war? Say, oh, well, that happened later. They just died in service. Okay. That's it, Habibi. We had to do a fast one today. I will see you tomorrow. At some point, Jacob will return from the ski slopes. It's only been 4 days. You know he's probably got 7 days of skiing in him. And
Yeah.
we will see. We will see what happens here with whether we're off ramping this war or if Hegseth gets his way and invades Iran this week. Those are the only 2 choices left in this war.
God
Wajeeh,
help
take us out.
us. God help us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Your like, subscribe, and share is what keeps us going.
Yeah.
It basically tells us that we are doing, giving you the information that you need. Uh,
Yeah.
we are like busting our ass to make sure that you get the latest information. We have been predicting a lot of things that have come true. Thank you so much, Malcolm. Thank you so much, Jacob.
Yeah.
And just keep an eye. I'm sorry to give you the
Yeah.
bad news that we are not in a good situation right now. But
No.
if you want honest, true reporting, come to us. We'll help you out.
Okay. Okay, and some administration. Click up on that rondelle at the top that says Black Man Spy. Up will pop the subscription buttons for myself and for Wajeeh. Please follow Wajeeh if you're following me. I am still trying to get to 100,000. We're just 3,000 short of 100,000 followers. Please share this with your friends. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can come to malcolmnance.substack.com and you can subscribe to this. We've been getting awesome comments on YouTube. Only 30, 40,000 watchers a day of our podcast, but it's pretty good. And we're pushing 200,000 up there. I think I still have like 20,000 I need on there. But it's not because I don't get anything out of it, right? I don't get big money out of YouTube at all. I get nothing out of Apple Podcasts. And Substack, this is where I do most of my principal writing. And so Wajeeh as well, he does excellent analysis. So come help us out. Tomorrow, you know something crazy is going to happen today. Do not follow the news. Just go live your lives. Have a nice day. And tomorrow we will feedback you all of the nutty stuff. And if the war escalates, we will have a special program. I'm holding off on that paid subscriber one because we're waiting for more intelligence about where the United States is going. And once it starts trending towards invasion, we will have that special program and you can all watch. All right, Wajeeh?
Thank you.
Shukran fi mallah. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Maslam.
Bye bye.